The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. Jesus said to the crowds, "Amen, I say to you, among those born of women, there has been none greater than John the Baptist. Yet the least in the kingdom of heaven is greater than he. From the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of heaven suffers violence, and the violent are taking it by force. All the prophets and the law prophesied up till the time of John. And if you are willing to accept it, he is Elijah, the one who is to come. Whoever has ears ought to hear." The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord.
So, since we are now on our third Marian feast with one more to go on Saturday this week, I think it's worth looking at her and taking into account what we have heard in our readings today especially, and even the prayers for Advent and the liturgical season of Advent, and how we can use all of these different elements, all of these foundations that we have, and bring them into our own prayers, bring them into our own understanding of what it truly means to be a Christian, what it truly means to be somebody who is active in the world and yet patiently awaiting the coming of Christ. In our first reading from Isaiah, we have this visceral imagery. "Fear not, I will help you. Fear not, O worm, Jacob. Fear not, O maggot, Israel." We're the lowest of the low. And we have this wonderful example that Jesus gives, that even among all of the people, all the worms and the maggots out there, John the Baptist, here's a great example of somebody who was pretty awesome. And yet, in the kingdom, even the least is greater than he. It's kind of hard to wrap our minds around, at least for me. Maybe I'm just not that smart. But it's a wonderful example of how this transition into the kingdom really flips what we think we know about what it means to be a good person right on its head. Because we want to reduce everything to just, well, what do I need to do? Right? What is my ethical system? How is Christianity teaching me to be a good person? Well, I think the truth of the matter, and this is what I think we're getting from our readings, and the example of Our Lady, is that that's really not what Jesus is here to do. That's not what the cross was for. It's great if we want to be good people, but we need to be people that have been touched by the hand of the living God, who have received the Lord just like Our Lady did into her body, as we will when it comes time for the Eucharist. We will receive Jesus literally into our bodies. What does that call us to be? Who does that call us to be? That once that happens, well, we won't be in the kingdom, but there will be a change that happens. And all of the other stuff, all of the being a good person, all of the things that happen because of that, well, that'll happen, and we don't have to worry about that too much. But it's an important way, and I think, again, going back to this image of Our Lady is a good one, because she is our model of faith. She is the model Christian. She was there at the Annunciation saying, "May it be done according to your word. May it be done to me according to your word." She was there at the wedding feast of Cana, encouraging Jesus to act, saying, "The people need you." And then she was there at the foot of the cross. When everybody else had run away, she was there. She remained in that pain, in that suffering. It wasn't easy. There was a transformation that happened to go from the worm to the maggot to the person who remains. And I think that's the work of Advent in our own hearts that we have to do these next few weeks in preparing for the Nativity. How can we make that own transformation so that when the Son of God comes in the form of a small child, we can be ready. We can be that new person, that new creation